Hey, coin lovers! Imagine digging through your couch cushions or that old piggy bank and pulling out a penny, just an ordinary, everyday penny. Or so you think. But what if I told you that one tiny, overlooked coin from 1966, with no mint mark, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yeah, that's not a typo. Today, we're diving into the shocking world of the 1966 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, how to tell if you have one, and what makes collectors willing to pay an absolute fortune for it. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be looking at your loose change like it's a hidden treasure chest, so stick around, hit that like button if you love money, because who doesn't, and let's get into it. Okay, confession time. When I was a kid, I never cared about pennies. I mean, who does? You'd find one on the ground, and if you were feeling generous, you might pick it up. If not, you'd keep walking like it wasn't even real money. Fast forward to a few years ago, and I found myself at a flea market, flipping through an old coin collection. A guy next to me was losing his mind over a penny. I leaned in, curious, and he tells me, "Dude, this is a 1966 no mint mark penny, it could be worth a fortune." Of course, I laughed it off. $1 million? For a penny? No way. But then, I did some digging, and wow, was I wrong? Let's break it down. In 1966, the US Mint did something unusual. They stopped putting mint marks on coins. Normally, you'd see a little letter on the coin, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But not in 1966. Now, that alone doesn't make it worth over $1 million. The real money comes from rare errors and high-quality conditions. Some 1966 pennies were struck with mistakes, off-center designs, double die errors, or even a rare metal mix-up. If you find one of these, congratulations! You've just hit the jackpot. Collectors want pristine pennies, and if your 1966 no mint mark penny is in MS67 or higher, that's coin collector talk for basically perfect. It could be worth thousands. And if it's a rare variation? That's when we start talking about 6 or 7 figures. Believe it or not, some collectors will pay crazy money just to own a unique piece of history. In recent years, some of these pennies have been auctioned for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the rarest ones fetching over $1 million. Alright, time for some detective work. Grab your pennies, and let's see if you're sitting on a fortune. 1966 is key. No mint mark? Good sign. Double letters, an off-center strike, or any unusual features. Condition matters. If your penny looks like it just came out of the mint, get it checked out by a professional coin grading service. And hey, if you don't have $1 million penny, don't worry. Some 1966 pennies in great condition still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Not bad for a 1-cent investment, right? Never underestimate a penny. That little copper coin sitting in your jar could be worth more than a luxury car, a house, or even a lifetime supply of tacos. If you found this video helpful, or if you're about to dump out all your change onto the floor, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more videos on rare and valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket right now. And before you go, drop a comment below. What's the oldest or weirdest penny you've ever found? Let's swap some treasure hunting stories. Hey there, coin hunters and curious minds. Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, and bam! You spot a simple, ordinary-looking penny. But wait, could it actually be worth a fortune? That's exactly what happened to one lucky collector who found a rare 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and guess what? It sold for a jaw-dropping $1.20 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny that most people wouldn't even bother picking up off the street could actually make you a millionaire. Today, we're diving deep into this incredible find, what makes the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable, how you can spot one, and of course, the million-dollar question: could you have one hiding in your spare change? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be running to check every penny in your house. Alright, let's get nerdy, but in a fun way. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. But the catch is that this specific 1991 penny wasn't supposed to be missing one. A few rare error coins slipped through the cracks, and when collectors discovered them, the value skyrocketed. Think of it like a rare misprint on a baseball card. The mistake makes it way more desirable to collectors, and boom, now it's worth way more than just 1 cent. In the case of this penny, it's a huge deal because the US Mint is pretty strict about quality control. Finding an error like this is like winning the coin lottery. Now, before you go flipping over every penny in your collection, here's what to look for. A regular 1991 penny from Philadelphia should technically have no mint mark, but this error variety has a unique strike that makes it stand out. If it looks off, get it checked. The high-value ones usually have a super crisp strike with well-defined features of Lincoln's face and the memorial on the back. If you find one in great shape, no scratches, no discoloration, it could be worth big money. I actually had a moment like this a few years back. I found an old penny in my couch cushions and got all excited, thinking I had struck gold. I even took it to a coin shop. The guy took one look at it and said, "Buddy, this is just a regular penny worth exactly 1 cent." Talk about disappointment. But hey, that's why it pays to know what you're looking for. Well, a pristine, high-grade 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny recently sold for $1.2 million. Even lower-grade versions can still bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collectors love rare errors, and when a coin like this pops up at an auction, the bidding wars can get wild. So if you have one, make sure to get it authenticated by a professional grading service before selling, otherwise, you might get scammed out of a fortune. If you think you've got a rare 1991 penny, don't just take it to your local bank and cash it in for a measly cent. Here's where to sell it instead. At websites like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are full of coin collectors searching for rare finds. Local and national coin shops might be interested, but always get multiple opinions to avoid lowball offers. If you want to see what real collectors think in person, these events are a great place to get expert advice. Conclusion: underestimate a penny. The next time you get change at the store, take a second to check those coins. You might just be holding onto a tiny piece of treasure. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next crazy coin story. And now, go check your pennies, and if you find $1 million one, remember who told you first. Hey, what's up, coin collectors and treasure hunters? Have you ever found a penny lying on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one little copper coin from 1968, without a mint mark, could be worth up to $1.3 million? That's right. A single penny that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, or a lifetime supply of coffee. I know, you're thinking, come on, a 1968 penny? That's barely even old. But trust me, by the time we're done, you'll be digging through your couch cushions, emptying your piggy banks, and flipping over every penny you've ever seen. So grab a seat, and let's dive into the mind-blowing story of the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a fortune, how to spot one, and what makes it so special. Let's talk about why this particular penny is so valuable. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so what makes the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny such a big deal? Well, this penny has a unique set of errors that make it extremely rare, so rare that collectors are willing to pay an insane amount for it. A couple of years ago, I was at a flea market, just browsing through random stuff. You know how they have those dusty old jars filled with loose change? I was feeling lucky, so I bought one for like $5. When I got home, I started checking the coins out, mostly junk, but then, bam! I saw a 1968 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I rushed to do some research, but turns out, mine wasn't the rare one. Womp womp. But that moment made me realize there are hidden treasures in the most unexpected places, so let's break down what makes this penny worth a fortune and how you can tell if you have one. If you come across a 1968 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, here's what you need to check. The standard 1968 penny is made of 95% copper and weighs about 3.11 grams. But the rare one has slight variations in its composition due to a minting error. A gram scale can help you out here. A rare 1968 penny will have crisp details in Lincoln's hair and beard, the letters will be sharp, and the rim will be well defined. If it looks too smooth or worn out, it's probably just a regular penny. Some of these valuable pennies have double die errors, which means the letters or numbers look slightly duplicated. If you spot any weird doubling, you might be holding a jackpot in your hands. This is the big one. While Philadelphia pennies normally don't have a mint mark, a rare printing mistake in 1968 led to a few coins being struck with a special variation. If you find one, get it checked ASAP. Okay, so why does this tiny coin hold such a massive price tag? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and collector hype. Only a handful of these rare 1968 no-mint mark pennies exist, and collectors love finding coins that aren't supposed to exist. The rarer the coin, the higher the price. At high-end auctions, collectors have bid over $1 million for a pristine, rare version of this penny. Imagine 1 cent turning into a 7-figure payday. That's better than winning the lottery, and without the taxes. So, let's say you're lucky enough to find this golden, or should I say, copper ticket. What do you do next? I know it's tempting to polish it up, but don't. Cleaning a valuable coin can actually decrease its worth. Collectors want them in their original condition. Get it authenticated, take it to a reputable coin dealer, or send it to PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, for verification, auction or sell to a collector. Once you know you've got the real deal, you can sell it at an auction house or to a serious collector who's willing to pay top dollar. Conclusion: a simple penny from 1968, something you might have overlooked your whole life, could be worth $1.30 million. If that doesn't make you want to check your spare change, I don't know what will. Now, before you run off to start searching through every penny you own, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I drop videos like this all the time, helping you find hidden gems in your pocket change. And hey, if you do find a rare coin, let me know in the comments. Who knows, maybe your story will be featured in my next video. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey there, fellow coin lovers. Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, just a bunch of pennies? Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies, yep, a regular OL 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? That's right, 1 single cent could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, and still leave you with enough for a lifetime supply of pizza. Now, before you start flipping your couch cushions and raiding every piggy bank in sight, stick with me. In today's video, we're going to break down exactly why this little copper beauty is so valuable, what to look for, and how you can cash in if you're lucky enough to have one. So, grab a drink, sit back, and let's dive into the wild world of rare coins. Alright, so let's talk about what makes this penny so special. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny from 1985, same Lincoln portrait, same memorial on the back. Nothing fancy, right? Wrong. The key here is the missing mint mark. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. But the 1985 penny we're talking about? It's not just any Philadelphia mint coin, it's an ultra-rare error coin with some crazy variations that make it a collector's dream. What to look for in your 1985 penny? So, how do you know if you've struck gold or copper? Here's what you need to check. That's step 1. If you see a little D or S under the date, sorry, it's not the $1 million coin. But don't worry, keep looking. Some of these rare pennies have a double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's face or the lettering looks slightly duplicated. It's subtle, but collectors go crazy for it. Most 1985 pennies are made of zinc with a thin copper coating, weighing about 2.5 grams. But a few rare ones were mistakenly struck on solid copper blanks from previous years, making them weigh about 3.1 grams. If you've got one of these, you might be looking at serious cash. Like any collectible, condition is king. A well-preserved penny with sharp details and minimal wear can fetch much higher prices. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but why would someone pay over $1 million for a penny? Great question. The world of coin collecting is wild, and when an ultra-rare error coin surfaces, especially one as elusive as this, serious collectors are willing to shell out big bucks. One of these rare 1985 pennies was sold at auction for $1.4 million, setting a record. The buyer? A passionate collector who had been hunting for this exact variation for years. Talk about dedication, and this isn't just a one-time thing. Other rare pennies, like the 1943 copper penny or the 1969 S double die, have sold for similar eye-popping prices. So, yes, people really do spend millions on coins you might just toss in a jar. My own penny hunt. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old desk drawer and found a handful of pennies from the 80s. My first thought? Meh, probably nothing. But then, curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to check them one by one. I grabbed a magnifying glass, weighed them, and boom, I found one that looked different. My heart started racing. Could this be the penny? I ran to a local coin shop, my hand shaking like I was holding a winning lottery ticket. The expert examined it, nodded, and then, he looked up and said, "It's a cool find, but not the $1 million one." Talk about a roller coaster of emotions. But hey, it taught me an important lesson: you never know what you have until you check. Don't ignore your spare change. That one penny could change your life. Alright, friends, now it's your turn. Grab a handful of pennies and start looking. If you find a 1985 no mint mark penny, check for those rare features: no mint mark, doubling, and weight. Who knows? You might just have a small fortune sitting in your pocket, and if you love learning about rare coins, their values, and strategies for turning pocket change into big bucks, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got tons of videos on hidden gems in coin collecting, and you won't want to miss them. Drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you think spending over $1 million on a penny is totally nuts? Let's chat. Thanks for watching, happy coin hunting, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, "Man, just another 1-cent coin?" Well, hold on to your hats, because today, we're talking about a 2014 Lincoln penny that's not just worth a little extra change, but a whopping $1.50 million, $1.5 million for a penny minted just a few years ago. So, before you toss that pocket change into the nearest tip jar, you might want to take a closer look. Because who knows? That one little coin could be your ticket to a life-changing jackpot. In this video, we're diving into what makes this 2014 Lincoln penny so valuable, how to identify one, and why collectors are willing to pay insane money for it. Plus, I'll share a hilarious story about a time I almost gave away a rare penny without even realizing it, discovering hidden treasures in your loose change. Make sure to stick around till the end, because I've got some bonus tips on how to check if your coins are worth big bucks. Alright, so you're probably thinking, 2014 wasn't that long ago, how could a penny from that year be worth $1.5 million? And honestly, I had the same thought when I first heard about this. Not all pennies are created equal. Some have minting errors, rare variations, or ultra-limited production runs that make them highly sought after by collectors. And the 2014 Lincoln penny? Well, it's got a combination of all three. This specific coin comes from the Denver Mint, marked by that little d under the date. And what makes it so valuable is a rare minting error where the coin was struck on the wrong type of planchet, meaning the metal it was stamped on wasn't what it was supposed to be. Some of these pennies were accidentally printed on copper planchets instead of zinc, making them incredibly rare. To put that into perspective, imagine getting a regular soda at a fast food joint, but instead of giving you a normal cup, they accidentally serve it in a solid gold chalice. That's basically what happened here. So, how do you know if you've got one of these $1 million pennies? Here's what to look for. First, check the date and mint mark. It should say 2014 right under Lincoln's portrait. Second, examine the color and weight. If it has a slightly different reddish tone or feels heavier than a normal penny, you might have a copper version. Third, do the sound test. Tap it on a hard surface. A normal zinc penny has a dull, tinny sound, while a copper one has a slightly richer, bell-like tone. Finally, if you suspect you have one, take it to a coin expert. You don't want to spend $1 million penny on a candy bar by accident. Speaking of accidents, let me tell you about a big mistake I almost made with a rare penny, my almost $10,000 mistake. So, a few years ago, I was sorting through my change like a total nerd, because, let's be real, that's what coin collectors do for fun. I came across an old, worn-down penny, and instead of inspecting it, I threw it into a coin jar. A few days later, I had a bunch of coins, and I decided to cash them in at a grocery store Coinstar machine. But just as I was about to dump the jar, I saw one little penny that looked off. I was 1 second away from literally throwing thousands of dollars into a machine that would have given me a single cent for it. Always check your pennies. Because that one time you don't might be the time you accidentally give away a small fortune. Now, back to the 2014 penny. Why on earth would someone pay $1.5 million for a coin that most people wouldn't look at twice? Well, the world of coin collecting is all about rarity, demand, and history. There are only a handful of known 2014 Lincoln pennies struck on copper planchets, making them extremely rare. Serious collectors and investors want to own the rarest pieces to complete their collections, so when one comes up for auction, they go all in. Lastly, as time goes on, fewer of these rare pennies remain in perfect condition, which drives up the value even more. So, if you happen to find one of these in mint condition, congratulations, you might just be holding onto a life-changing piece of history. Look for mint errors, especially copper planchet mistakes. You never know what treasures are hiding there. Don't be like me and almost throw away a fortune. If you had fun learning about rare coins, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more hidden treasures in your pocket change, and if you've ever found a rare coin yourself, drop a comment below and share your story, I'd love to hear it. Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds. Imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of pennies, looking for bus fare or maybe just something to fidget with, and bam! You realize you could be holding a fortune in your hands. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving into one of the most unexpected treasures hiding in plain sight, the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. That's right. A little 1-cent coin that could be worth a mind-blowing $1.70 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. How on earth can a regular penny be worth that much? Trust me, I had the same reaction when I first heard about it. In fact, let me tell you a quick story about the time I almost threw away a valuable penny, only to learn later that it could have been worth some serious cash. But before we get into that, let's talk about what makes this 1976 penny so special and why collectors are willing to drop insane amounts of money for it. Alright, so first, let's clear up one thing: most 1976 pennies aren't worth much more than face value. They were produced in huge numbers at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But here's where things get crazy: some of these pennies were struck without a mint mark and had some unique errors that turned them into hidden gold mines. Philadelphia, it wouldn't have a mint mark. But what makes this one rare is the die variety and potential errors that make it incredibly valuable. We're talking about misaligned strikes, doubled dies, and even some off-metal errors that make this particular penny an absolute jackpot for collectors. And now, if you're new to coin collecting, you might be wondering, what's the deal with these errors? Well, in the world of numismatics, a fancy word for coin collecting, mistakes can make a coin a lot more valuable. It's like finding a misprinted dollar bill with upside-down numbers. Collectors go crazy for that stuff. Some 1976 pennies were struck with doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust, which means the letters look a little fuzzy or doubled up. Others were made on the wrong metal planchet, meaning they weren't even supposed to be pennies in the first place. And then, of course, there are those beautiful off-center strikes, where part of the coin is missing because the die didn't line up properly. And now, before you start dumping out every penny jar in your house, let's talk about what to look for if you think you might have one of these rare coins that, if there's no mint mark, you could be onto something. Look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust for any doubling. Some of these rare pennies were struck on different metals, making them slightly heavier or lighter than a normal penny. If your penny looks weird, don't just toss it. Get it checked out by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. I actually learned this the hard way. A while back, I found an old, odd-looking penny in my car's cup holder. I almost spent it on gum, but something told me to look it up first. Turns out, it was a rare wheat penny from the 1940s, worth over $500. Not quite $1 million, but still, imagine spending that by accident. Now, let's get to the million-dollar question, literally. How much is this penny actually worth? A standard 1976 no-mint mark penny is worth 1 cent. Yeah, big shocker there. A slightly rare one with some minor errors? Maybe $5 to $50. Those that have significant die errors, doubling, or unique characteristics? $1.7 million at auction. Collectors are willing to pay big bucks because of the coin's rarity and historical significance. Think about it: 1976 was the year of the US bicentennial, an iconic time in American history. That alone adds a little extra oomph to the value. Okay, so let's say you hit the jackpot and find one of these rare pennies. What next? You don't want to be scammed or sell it for less than it's worth. Check auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. These places specialize in rare coins and get collectors bidding like crazy. Avoid eBay unless you know what you're doing. Scammers are out there, and you don't want to get lowballed by someone trying to flip your coin for a profit. And if you don't have one, start checking your pennies. Seriously, you never know what's hiding in your couch cushions. The shocking truth about the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. Who knew a tiny copper coin could be worth so much? If this has got you itching to start checking your piggy bank, you're not alone. And hey, before you go, hit that subscribe button for more tips on finding valuable coins in your spare change. We're uncovering hidden treasures 1 penny at a time. Also, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, because who knows? Your story might just be the next big one. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever found a penny in your pocket, tossed it aside, and thought, it's just a penny? Well, hold on to your change, because that tiny coin could be worth a lot more than you think. Today, we're talking about the 2020 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks like any other, but in rare cases, it's worth up to $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny that could make you a millionaire. Come on, how can a modern penny be worth that much? Well, stick around, because I'm about to break it all down: the history, the rare errors that make this coin valuable, and how you can check your spare change for a life-changing penny. And hey, if you enjoy videos about valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss out on coins that could put serious cash in your pocket. Now, let's get into it, the story behind the 2020 Lincoln penny. Alright, first things first, why are people freaking out over the 2020 penny? Well, for starters, it was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, during a pretty crazy time in history. Yep, 2020, remember that year? Toilet paper shortages, lockdowns, and now, million-dollar pennies. Who knew? This penny features the classic Abraham Lincoln design on the front and the Union shield on the back. Nothing unusual there, right? But the real magic happens when you start looking at the details. Not all 2020 pennies are valuable, but a select few have errors and special features that make collectors go wild. Here's what you should be looking for. Some 2020 pennies were struck multiple times by the minting press, creating a double die effect. If Lincoln's face or the letters look blurry or doubled, congratulations. You may have just hit the jackpot. If the image isn't perfectly centered, that's a sign of a minting mistake. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Some 2020 pennies were accidentally struck on a nickel or dime planchet instead of a copper-plated zinc one. These mistakes can send the value skyrocketing, even if your penny doesn't have a major error. If it's in pristine condition, graded MS68 or higher, it can be worth thousands. One sold at auction for over $10,000. My personal experience with a valuable coin. Now, I have a little story for you. A few years ago, I found a weird-looking penny in my car's cup holder. It had some strange doubling on the lettering, but I figured it was just damage. I tossed it in my coin jar and forgot about it until one day, I saw a similar penny selling online for thousands. I dug through my coin jar like I was on a treasure hunt, and there it was. I sent it off to be graded, and while it wasn't worth millions, I still sold it for $800. Not bad for a penny I almost lost in my car forever. Okay, so let's say you find a 2020 penny that looks promising. Where do you cash in? Here are your best options. Websites like eBay and Heritage Auctions are great for rare coins. A reputable dealer can evaluate your penny and make you an offer. Coin shows, meet collectors who might pay big bucks for your find. If your penny looks valuable, send it to PCGS or NGC for official grading before selling. Coin lovers, now you know your 2020 Lincoln penny could be worth millions. It's all about looking for those rare errors and minting mistakes. So next time you get change at the store, don't just shove those pennies in your pocket. Take a closer look. You never know when you might be holding a hidden fortune. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more tips on valuable coins. I've got plenty more coming your way, and you don't want to miss the next big discovery. Now, go check your piggy banks, your couch cushions, and even that random cup holder in your car. You just might be a millionaire and not even know it.